Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Yesterday I spoke about doing a talk about the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and after a little bit of time doing that write-up, I'm going to be covering everything that I wrote down there, and more than what's on that screen. So, yeah, let's get into it. I'm just going to start off with the characters. I think is the thing that was the biggest change, because like in the first one it felt like it was only Wonder Woman and Batman that were like getting a lot of the focus, and like Superman wasn't even really that big of a deal, other than just punching Steppenwolf a lot. So yeah, that's something that I do really enjoy, is that there was a lot of focus on the characters, and like they each felt like they had an important role in the Superman did much, except towards the end. There wasn't a lot of lore reveal for him, there wasn't a lot of action for him. It just kind of felt like he was a wasted character, despite being one of the main points of the movie. Cyborg really did nothing in the original movie. Aquaman didn't really do much. The Flash didn't do that much. So the Flash brought back Superman, that's about it. Like, he didn't really have that much growth, he didn't really have that much focus. So, that's kind of the bad things about the original movie. However, it's still an okay movie, like, it's bad, but it's good. In the Snyder Cut, the characters felt like they actually had roles, and they were more of a team, like, not one person could have done it by themselves, which I think is kind of important with the Justice League. Like, the Flash had so many important things, like, spoilers by the way, he brought back Superman, he had to save everyone when he couldn't run fast enough, and like, having to reverse time, that was quite a big thing for him to have to contribute. Batman was the clear leader of the team, I think, which I don't mind, like, that's kind of what he is in the comics. So, it's pretty good. Wonder Woman didn't really have that much to do with the team. A bit of a guidance person for the team. So yeah, that's all I can really say about her. She didn't really have as much as the other person, as the other people, I mean. Cyborg, he like strategized and was key to the Mother Box, as you guys know, or the Unity, being the one that had to deal with it. Again, Superman lacked quite a bit in the movie, but then again, he's dead for a lot of it, so again, nothing that I'm too affected by. I like to see him in the movies, however, he, like, they do what they have to do. He still goes on his own personal journey with Lois, and what he's in it for, I do enjoy, so I can't really complain there. Aquaman was less prominent again, but he still felt like he got to help with the team. Like, he didn't really contribute much. Even like Steppenwolf had his own motivations for doing what he was doing, despite being the villain, which I always like. He was like a Thanos kind of person, except his motivation was just for Darkseid, who does make quite a strong like presence in the movie. Has their own personal problems, which will like combine together within the grand story of the movie. Things like the Flash having to break his rules of time travel on a couple of times. Like, he had the one that I said originally, where he had to go back in time because the world ended. He had that time where he almost reversed time with the Mother Box, bringing back Superman, and also like getting injured, You know, like when he originally tries to do the mother box, he gets injured, and I feel like him getting hurt was kind of an own personal journey for him, and not being able to save the team, which is in itself like its own thing. You know, it's its own thing for the team where they're like, there's the league, and then each character has their own things to deal with. The Flash and his dad in prison, you know, like that I feel gives him his purpose, and is like trying to make him proud, trying to release him from prison, all of that stuff. Superman coming back to life, you know, like that's kind of a big deal for him. Like it's his own personal journey, going back to the farm, going back to the ship, and all of that stuff. Evil Superman, that I'm split on that one because it's a good scene, but the movie wouldn't really change that much if it wasn't in there. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are pretty good in this, both having the behind the scenes with the Atlanteans and the Amazonians, I think. You know, having that war together, and Aquaman not liking the Atlanteans, and Wonder Woman still believing in them, like, even though she has no reason to, like, her people hate them, she still tries to make Aquaman see them in a different way. And, like, that can be perfectly seen in the scene where they're digging Superman's grave. You know, where they're having that conversation in the truck. I think that's quite a key role for their characters. You know, like being that bridge between the Atlanteans and the Amazonians. Cyborg has a lot to do with the film, not only to do with like his connections to the mother, you know, like his getting to grips with his powers, which we see in the scene where he's fighting Superman, where he can't control his robot, where he's turning his gun into a hand and stuff. So I feel like that was quite good. And, you know, Cyborg having to deal with both of his parents dying, that's lent on quite heavily, which in the original cut, there was no mention of that at all. So I do enjoy that. I really enjoy Cyborg's character. Although I'm a bit biased to that because I do like him in the comics and things. But, you know, like having such a big role with the Mud Boxes and the Unity, as well as his own personal journey, is just amazing to see. Batman doesn't really have any problems, let's be honest, other than putting the team together. So yeah, Batman doesn't really have anything, and Wonder Woman and Aquaman just kind of share the same story. But even the Unity have their own story where they explain about how they fear Superman, which is why they didn't call Steppenwolf until he had died. So again, that was really interesting, seeing like these inanimate objects having their own personality. Just brings so much more depth to the film, I think. Okay, so we covered the Unity. There's a little of a break in between, so I might be a bit jumpy at the moment. But anyway, let's move into how each of the characters' actions, like in the movie, were justified, right? Everything that they did had like some form of explanation, like some intense reasoning behind it. So like Batman putting his team together, he had just growing old and things that they did kind of cover in the original one, where he's like starting to get tired and like he's just not cut out for that shit anymore. He like, fuck that shit, I'm out. Superman fighting the League is kind of justified by the mother boxes, as is mentioned earlier. And also like him going to the farm and stuff, like that's the last memory he has, and that's triggered by Lois. So that's all pretty similar to the original cut. However, if you look at my notes, which aren't on screen because, you know, I'm a twat and reading them, the Flash's joke, where he said about joining the League when Batman throws the Batarang at him, yeah, well, something that I thought of, right? When he says that he joined, and it's because he needs to make friends, earlier on in one of the added scenes, they said about his dad, saying that he wants him to like be more and like live his own life. And I think that's Barry finally doing that, finally being part of a team, finally being part of something else. My own thoughts, you know, like it's just something that I thought of when he did that. It was kind of a shining point for him. Uh, Aquaman not helping at the start was kind of something that was explained more in the Justice League cut, in the Snyder cut, than the original cut. Though it was a little bit touched on. Cyborg has like the reason why he's fighting is not only because his dad like challenged him and like he's wanting to grow as a person and as a character, but also because of like Steppenwolf killing his dad. I think that was quite a strong reason as why, and it was clearly shown. Um, then like when his dad dies, like you see that he's quite traumatized by it, as well as losing his mum. And yeah, I think that's quite key to what his character goes through. Yeah, that's just some parts. Like, I'm not going to explain why everyone did everything in the movie, because that's just stupid. But there are just some key things that I noticed. So, just some bits that I noticed that I liked about the new cut. Some things like the fight scenes were like a lot more intricate and like gory. Steppenwolf having his blood pulled out of his face is a standout moment for me. This film really didn't hold back and was quite dark, especially compared to some other Marvel movies.
Wow.
Quite a bit more different to like other movies, like a lot gorier. DC, Marvel, fucking everything. Like that's probably one of the most gory things I've seen in a superhero movie, other than maybe Deadpool. But we don't count him. There's a lot of added lore which was explained, like why certain things happened, and like everyone's backstories and things. The post-credits scene, if you could call them that, I think they were just amazing. Like, I think the one with the Joker, that has so many things for the future that I just can't wait to see explored. You know, I like the Joker, so it was good to see him. Lex Luthor finding out Bruce Wayne's identity, Batman's identity as Bruce Wayne, was kind of interesting, and giving that information to Deathstroke, who appears in the movie. You know, I think that's definitely going to be quite interesting to see, maybe in a Batman movie. The part where in the apocalyptic world, I think definitely has some things that will stand out a bit later, and I will cover them in the next couple parts. But Batman and Superman standing together, like at the end of the fight when they're at the top of the nuclear tower, that scene has quite a lot of like power in it, I think. Not only because Batman and Superman are now part of a team and they're both wearing black, which was a nice symbolization. So yeah, so Cyborg talking to Barry, like socializing, feeling part of the group again, and like reintroducing himself to humanity. And then Wonder Woman and Aquaman standing together. Now, if you think back to earlier in the film when they said the Atlanteans and Amazonians were at war, well, thinking about it, them two being stood together, like next to each other, well, that's kind of like the symbolic version of them two worlds being brought together. Just again, just a thought, you know, maybe done on purpose, maybe not. I don't know. And just that entire dream sequence, really, at the end, as I said in the post-credit scene part, that just blew my mind. It was filled with so many things, and I just can't wait to talk about them. Bits that I don't like, there really wasn't a lot. that I could pick up on, but there are certain things, such as Batman using guns a lot in the movie. You know, he's shown to have batarangs, so there's really no point. Pretty much the entire last fight, he uses the guns from the aliens. I think they could have just easily been replaced with batarangs, to be honest. Like, I don't know why they had to have him use guns. I know it doesn't really matter because they're aliens and parademons and all that, but it's still just... He has that on his disposal, and we see it when he's talking to the Flash, but, you know, he doesn't use it throughout that entire last fight. There's no point in him having them. Superman's new suit looks cool. I'm a fan of it, but I just don't want it to be the new suit that he wears all the time, because it's not what he usually wears in the comics. It doesn't really symbolise him that well. Again, I wouldn't be too fussed if they did bring it in as his new suit, to be honest, but it's just something that I don't want them to do. And the fact that there was no post-credit scene and it was all just like added towards the end was a bit weird, but we still got the content, so I don't really mind. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this video, guys. Tomorrow I'll be uploading a video of theories that this movie gave me, different ideas that I've had regarding it, little Easter eggs that I think will lead to the future of the DC universe, and just other crazy shit like that. I'm looking forward to making that video because I've had so many ideas. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.